me, Hetty, and I believe yesterday or today, I answered it today anyway. I don't remember when they asked me, but how the directions to make an actual apple pie with my apple pie filling. And I was like, well, wait a minute, I thought I did a video for that. Well, it took me a while to remember that something had happened with the sound on that video, and I just never went back and revisited. My bad. So here's what I'm doing. I made some apple pie filling, and I'll of course have a link below because it's the world's best apple pie filling, that I can tell you. And I cut my apples a little different from my pie. I slice them instead of chunk them like when I'm making it for just like a topping rather. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. And remember I told y'all how, y'all know I make wonderful, wonderful pie crust. But with my health the way it is at the moment, remember I told y'all you got to pick your battles, and I'm picking my battles. I'm using store-bought. There's nothing wrong with it. I do like to make my own. I am absolutely not up to it. So that's what I'm doing. So I got two pie crusts, bottom crust and top crust. Got my pie plate here. My wonderful, wonderful, ooh y'all, this, wish you could smell it and taste it. I did taste it. Be sure it was right. Okay, so if you hear tapping, that's my puppy dog. That's Rascal. There's that clock again. Okay, so I'm going to switch some stuff around. I'm going to go ahead and put my bottom crust on, and then we'll just go from there, and I'll give you all the temps and everything. And as usual, you know, it'll always be down below. I'm just going to show you this real quick. I kind of missed the center with my pie crust. So a lot of times you'll have more overhang than you do on another side. And of course you're going to want to seal your two pie crusts together. So you want to be sure you have enough to do that. So you can usually just pat that out and do that. But as you can see, I have a little tear here. So I just take from the thick side, because remember, this will be all, you'll roll that under and it'll be all right. And then if you have a little thin part on the bottom, you just want to kind of go in, you can go like that, and it'll bake up just fine, okay? I'm not the world's best baker, okay? My stuff tastes great. It might not look as beautimous. Moving on. Here's my, I let it cool to room temperature. I've got my oven preheated to 425. And it's in between about, I don't know, it's about 38 to about 44, 45 minutes. And if you're worried about that time, you're just going to want to start checking it. Now, I was going to tell you, if you've got a deep dish pie pan, you may want to make 1.5 batches of my apple pie filling. When I did that video, I did it as a topping, which is also apple pie filling. But I usually, I added a couple more apples to mine this time to make this pie right. Okay, so let me get my pie crust shield and I'll be right back. Well, I kind of forgot to hit record, but gosh, all I did is lay out the top pie crust. And look, I'm going to show you, and I'm not the best at this either, but this is how I do it. You can just take a fork, you know, cut off your excess, and then crimp with a fork. Now, I did it that way for years, but I'm doing it how my mama did it. Just make sure you got the top and the bottom crust together, and come in. I'm not the best at this. And my hands are just killing me today, folks. I've got arthritis pretty bad. Look at that, I suck. I take my forefinger and I take these two here. Let me turn the pie, that'll probably help quite a bit. And I just come up and I take my thumb and you go like this. Just make sure they're sealed. You can't really see that, like, can you? Here, I'll try to zoom in on that best I can. Okay, and you just come in, and I'm not the best, so I'm going to do this off camera, then I'll show you. But that's how you do it. You just kind of hold it on one side like this, push in with your thumb like that. I'll be back when I get this done. Okay, not the prettiest. I'm probably going to go back around this edge, maybe not. And I've gotten where I'm in love with my pie shield. It's so easy to clean up. I've done it every way. I've gotten those disposable little ones. You can use them for a couple times, but they get kind of funky after a while. They're real thin. They're hard to fit on. And I just got tired of fooling with that part. So I've gone to using Pie Shield the last several years. Sorry, that's my dishwasher. Okay, now, next thing. We're moving on. You're going to want to cut some little slits. This is why pies have these little slits, as you can see. No, it wasn't my dishwasher, it was a garage door. Okay, I cut some cooking vents for it, and I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna put this on a cookie sheet just in case I didn't seal the crust all the way good together. Any leak over will go on the cookie sheet and not in my oven. Okay, so like I said, 38 to 45 minutes. You want to. Now I'll tell you something else you can do if you want to. If this was actually for Thanksgiving or something, I would probably go in with a egg wash and just do the crust. But that's just us tonight. We're going to eat some vanilla with it, excuse me. And so I'm not being fancy. That's why I didn't worry about my pie crust too much. You get the idea. I don't profess to be a baker in any way, shape, or form. If I do bake something, it's really good, but my quote baking repertoire compared to bakers would not be very knowledgeable as much as somebody else. All right, in the oven we go. When it's done, I'll bring you back. Okay, y'all, in my oven, it was about 40 minutes. And I want you to look at that. Woo, beautiful. It came out so nice. And now I want to tell you about fruit pies. One thing, like I said, I'm not a baker, but there are a couple of things I do know. And people rush their fruit pie. They want to cut into it. Now, if I cut into this right now, you'd have a soupy mess. You need to let it set up and cool. How long, ideally, should you let a fruit pie cool? In between 3.5 and 4 hours. Okay, so I've got this on my cooling rack. And yes, this is a wonderful cooling rack. I've had this for about 2 months now. And I love cooling racks, but I like to make my bacon on a rack now and my sausage. I need to redo those old videos, don't I? Anyway, this is non-stick. Some of them say non-stick when you get a set that goes into a pan, but you don't want that. I bought this rack separate to fit into a cookie sheet of mine. If you get those that just say non-stick, the trick is the pan's non-stick, the cooling rack is not. Ask me how I know. Anyway, when this cools, 3.5, 4 hours, I will cut you a slice. Okay, so we'll be back then. For now, I'm moving on to other things. I'll see you then, because this apple pie's got a slice of it's got my name on it. Oh yeah, apple pie a la mode with a little scoop of ice cream on it, but whipped cream is good too. There's my pie. By letting it cool down, it holds its shape. I kind of accidentally smushed that one, but anyway, it's good. I already had a sample. This piece is for my husband. Well, there you go. That's how you make apple pie out of my apple pie filling. Last thing I'm going to say, and I'll make a note down below, is if you're wanting to make deep dish, I'd probably either do 1.5 recipes of the apple pie filling or even a double recipe. Better to have a little bit left over because it tastes good. Anyway, but I'd rather have a little bit left over than not enough. But anyway, this was fine for this is just a regular pie plate. So there you have it. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.